Students, let us start with the third section of the first unit, that is stream sanitation. In this video, we are going to discuss about the stream sanitation, self-purification of the streams and the oxygen sacker. These are the some contents that we are going to discuss in this particular video. Stream sanitation, self-purification of natural stream, zones of pollution in the stream at oxygen sac curve. So let us talk about the stream sanitation. So what is meant by stream sanitation? After conveying the wastewater through the sewer, the next step is its disposal, either after treatment or even before the treatment. The method of disposal of wastewater may be classified under the following categories. First category is natural method. In this method, by two ways the disposal is carried out. First one is by dilution, second is by land treatment. Second category is artificial method. In this, first is primary treatment and secondary treatment. Then combined methods contains the primary treatment and the effluent disposal by natural method. Usually, after treating the wastewater, or if the treatment is not provided, directly the wastewater is discharged into the natural stream or in the lake, river, pond, etc., where the dilution takes place. Usually, whatever disposal is there, or the concentration or the decrease in the concentration is there in the strength of the wastewater is carried out by the dilution. So we can say that the dilution method is the most prominent method of disposal, which consists of discharging the wastewater into the receiving water body such as river, lake and sea. This is done on the assumption that the sufficient dissolved oxygen is available in the water body so that BOD, or the biochemical oxygen demand, is satisfied. If, however, the dilution water is not sufficient to supply the BOD to oxidize the entire matter present, there will be nuisance of the food, odor and unsightly condition. In addition, depletion of oxygen would kill the aquatic life and danger to the public health. So the entire process of disposal directly into the natural stream is based on this principle or this phenomena, that dilution will take place and the sufficient oxygen will get available for decreasing the strength of wastewater, and wastewater will get diluted and will get dissolved and mixed with the natural water. But if suppose the oxygen in the existing water body or in the disposing stream is less, in that case there are chances that the pollution will increase and the BOD, or the dissolved oxygen level of the existing stream or the receiving stream will get further depleted, and it will be very harmful in that case for the aquatic life and for the public health also. Let us come to the next, that is self-purification of natural stream. Now, what is the basic idea about the self-purification? When wastewater or the effluent is discharged into a natural stream, it pollutes the stream water in various ways by depleting the oxygen level in the water. As we have discussed, whenever we are discharging any wastewater directly into the natural stream, it will cause the depletion in the dissolved oxygen level due to the demand of BOD. The organic matter is broken down by the bacteria to ammonia, nitrate, sulfate, carbon dioxide, etc. In this process of oxidation, the dissolved oxygen content of natural water is utilized due to this deficiency of dissolved oxygen is created. So the oxygen is taken up by the microorganism, and because of that deficiency is created. As excess organic matter is stabilized, a normal cycle will be re-established in this process known as the self-purification, where in the oxygen is replenished by the re-aeration by wind. So after some time, when the entire organic matter gets stabilized completely, then the oxygen will start dissolving, or we can say the original oxygen level will get regained, and that is replenished by the re-aeration by the wind, of course by the natural processes like wind, and that process is called as a self purification. So each and every stream or the receiving water body, it's having its own system to self purify, but there are certain parameters, or we can say the governing parameters, which will help to the self purification. So also the stable byproduct of the oxidation mentioned above are utilized by the plant and algae to produce the carbohydrates and oxygen. So at the end of the entire stabilization and all, whatever the end products are there, which will be which will get utilized by the plant and algae to produce the carbohydrates and oxygen. So these plants and algae which are present in the receiving water body, they will take up all these end products, and they will produce the carbohydrates and oxygen. Self purification of the stream involves various physical, chemical and biological actions in the nature, which are explained as follows. So let us discuss each and every physical, chemical and biological action by which the self purification is carried out in detail. When first is the dilution. When wastewater is discharged into the receiving water, dilution takes place, due to which the concentration of organic matter is reduced and the potential nuisance of the sewage is also reduced. It is very obvious that whenever the wastewater is discharged into the receiving water body, because of as the quantity of receiving water body quantity of water in the receiving water body is very high, so the dilution effect, because of the dilution effect, the concentration of organic matter get reduced, and because of that strength of the sewage get also reduced, and there will not be any nuisance to the water body. When dilution ratio is quite high, large quantity of DO are always available, which will reduce the chances of putrefaction and the pollution effect. In the receiving water body, if the dilution ratio means the more quantity of water, as I said, if the more quantity of water is available in the receiving water body, then definitely there will be large quantity of DO will be available, and there will be less chances of putrefaction and the pollution effects. Aerobic condition will always exist because of the dilution. When large quantity of effluent is discharged into the small stream, then the dilution ratio is small. On the contrary, if suppose the huge quantity of wastewater is discharged into the stream which contained a very less or the small quantity of water, definitely the chances of putrefaction and chances of nuisance pollution will be great in that case, as the dissolved oxygen level or amount of water required for the sufficient dilution is less. Second is dispersion due to current. Self purification of stream largely depend upon the current, which will readily disperse the wastewater in the stream, preventing the locally high concentration of the pollutant. So if the stagnant water body, if it is there, and if we discharge the wastewater in it, there are pretty chances of the pollution, and all the effluent and all the contaminant will start accumulating in that particular area. But if suppose the stream is flowing and sufficient current, and we can say the velocity is there, definitely it will leads to the more dispersion, dilution and increase in the oxygen absorption and all, and it will results in the less or the harmful water. High velocity improves the reaction, which reduce the concentration of pollutant. It also reduces the recovery time. The length of the stream affected by the wastewater is increased. Next is sedimentation. If the stream velocity is lesser than the score velocity of the particles, sedimentation will take place, which will have two effects. It is very obvious that if suppose the stream velocity is less, then the sediments will start accumulating, and it will have and because of that the sedimentation will occur, and velocity of particle sedimentation will takes place, and it will have two effects. First one is suspended solid, which contribute largely to the oxygen demand, will removed by settling, and hence the water quality will get degraded. The downstream will be increased due to settled solid anaerobic decomposition in the matrix place. So in the sedimentation, if suppose downstream will get in, if suppose the very less quantity or the stream velocity is lesser, then the sediments will get settle or will start accumulating on the upstream side, and as it start accumulating the oxygen demand increases. Fourth is oxidation. The organic matter present in the wastewater is oxidized by the aerobic bacteria utilizing the dissolved oxygen of the natural water. This process prevails till the complete oxidation of organic matter takes place. The stream which is capable of absorbing more oxygen rapidly through the variation can purify heavily polluted water in a short time. So what is it mean? Does it means the organic matter present in the wastewater is oxidized by the aerobic bacteria. It is very obvious thing, utilizing the oxygen. So this process prevails still the complete oxidation of organic matter takes place. The stream which is capable of absorbing more oxygen rapidly through the variation can purify heavily polluted. So it is very obvious that entire organic matter start oxidizing under the aerobic condition, or we can say in the presence of oxygen by the microorganism and all. And if suppose that that process is called as oxidation, but when the receiving stream is having capacity to absorb the more oxygen, in that case there will not be any pollution problem, and the oxidation will take place rapidly. Fifth phenomena or the action is the reduction. The reduction occurs in the stream due to hydrolysis of organic matter biologically or chemically. Aerobic bacteria will split the organic matter into liquid gases, thus paving way for their ultimate stabilization by the oxidation. So the reduction is the another action by which this organic matter or the pollution strength or the strength of the sewage will get reduced. But by which mechanism? By the hydrolysis of the organic matter. The hydrolysis may take place by biologically or by chemically. In the presence of aerobic bacteria, the aerobic bacteria will split the entire organic matter into the simple substances, or we can say in the liquid and gases, and ultimately they stabilizes the entire organic matter by oxidation, and because of this the organic load or organic matter will get reduced in the receiving stream. So this is the fifth action by which the reduction or the we can say the purification takes place. Sixth is the temperature. At low temperature, the activities of the bacteria is low, and hence the rate of decomposition will also be slow. Though the DO will be more because of the increased solubility of the oxygen in water, at higher temperature, however, the cell purification takes less time, though the quantity of DO will be less. So very contrary or contradictory statement it is. In this, as we know the fact that at lower temperature the oxygen absorption rate is very high, but at the same time the activities of the bacteria will also be low at the low temperature. In the reverse case, if, as we know, if the temperature increases, the oxygen solubility decreases, but that temperature is the favorable for the microbial activities, and in that particular temperature range or at the higher temperature range, or we can say 20 degree and all, 20 to 28 degree centigrade, the microorganism decomposes the organic matter very rapidly because of they become very active, they multiply, they grow there, and entire decomposition takes place. So the temperature is also one of the parameter which helps in the cell purification. So at higher temperature, more cell purification will be there. Seventh is sunlight. Sunlight helps certain microorganisms to absorb CO2 and gives out oxygen. So certain microorganisms in presence of sunlight, they absorb the CO2 and releases the oxygen, thus assisting in cell purification. And as these microorganism liberates or releases oxygen, the oxygen or the dissolved oxygen level of the receiving stream will start increasing, and this will help in cell purification, thus assisting in cell purification. Sun act as a disinfectant and stimulate the growth of algae which produces the oxygen. Also, as we know, in presence of sunlight, the aquatic plant take the sunlight, take the carbon dioxide during their photosynthesis and releases the oxygen. So this is also one of the cause which will increase, or one of the reason we can say, which will increase the oxygen, dissolved oxygen level in the receiving stream. Hence, whenever there is a algal growth, the water may be supersaturated with the DO during daylight hours, though the anaerobic condition exists at night. So, because of the metabolism, because of the photosynthesis taking place in the aquatic plant or by the algae, during the daytime, the receiving stream gets supersaturated with the dew. But on contrary, at night, as the sunlight is absent, the anaerobic condition will prevails, and there will be liberation of the CO2 in the stream. It is very easy whenever we are discharging the wastewater into the stream, we should map how the cell purification is carried out and at which place the entire we can say the stream will get purified. So from the discharge point of the wastewater to the point when the stream will get self purified, the entire that zone is divided into the certain zones. So there are mainly 4 zones in which the entire stretch from the point of disposal to the point of cell purification, the entire stream is divided into the different zone. In that, first one is a zone of degradation, second one is zone of active decomposition, third is zone of recovery, and fourth is zone of clear water. So in every zone, we can say we can gradually see how the water is getting purified, how the DO will get replenished in the stream. So we will discuss in detail each and every zones. In this picture, we can see that the first is the clear water zone. Very initially, before discharging the wastewater into the stream, the saturation, or we can say the DO, is 100%. It is also called as a saturation level. At that point, the water is very clear. Clear water, no bottom sludge, no color, nothing. Whereas ordinary fishes are present there, like games, pan, food, etc. are present. Bottom animals are also present, algae, protozoa called and plankton, phytoplanktons are also visible and present in that particular zone. Immediately at the point when the wastewater is discharged into the stream or into the river, at that point that zone is called as a zone of degradation. Here if you see, the gradually or progressively the DO level start depleting or decreasing. There are certain physical indices like floating, you can observe the floating solids, bottom sludge is also there, present, color getting turbid. So in this particular zone, water will be turbid. There will be tolerant fishes like carp, buffalo, gary, etc. are present. So only tolerant, the fishes or the aquatic animals which are having capability to sustain in such type of environment, they only can exist and they will survive. So only such type of fishes can be observed in this particular zone. In the next zone, the oxygen level further decreases, even it goes up to 0%. It is called as a zone of active decomposition. Here we can say and we can physically examine the zone of active decomposition by some markers like darker and grayish color, evolution of gases like CH4, like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, lot of sludge coming to the surface, foaming and algae and ugly scum layer at the top. So if such type of situations are observed, we can see that that particular stream is under the zone of active decomposition, where we cannot observe any free fish or any aquatic life. Only some microorganism can be observed in that particular zone. Next to this, that is zone of recovery. Because of the various self purification actions like dilution, dispersion, temperature, sunlight, because of all these things, the velocity, current we can say, because of that, the stream will start obtaining its original position or the original condition. So that zone and such type of activities can be observed in this zone, and that zone is called as a zone of recovery. Here we can see that the turbidity is there, bottom sludge is there, but it is having very small quantity because already the entire organic matter get decomposed. So the bottom sludge will have very less quantity. Some tolerant fish can now start visible in this particular zone. Here again, up to 40% the DO oxygen increases. And the last is zone of clear water. Here in this particular zone, the stream attains its original condition or the oxygen level. Here the water is clear, no bottom sludge because entire decomposition has been carried out, and all ordinary fish we can see all the fishes can be observed in this particular zone. So that is called as a clear water zone. In detail, if we want to discuss the each and every zone, let us have the first one, the zone of degradation. This is situated just below the outfall sewer when discharging its content into stream. As I said, in this zone, water is turbid and dark color with formation of sludge deposition at the bottom. The composition of the solid matter takes place in this and anaerobic condition prevails. The DO is reduced to the 40% of the saturated value. So this is a zone of degradation. Second, zone of active decomposition. This zone is just after the degradation zone are marked by the heavy pollution. So we can say that the active decomposition zone is a heavily polluted zone. The water is grayish and darker than the previous zone. The DO concentration falls down to the zero in this zone. Active anaerobic organic decomposition results in the formation of H2S, CO2, N2 and CH4, that is methane, which lead to the objectionable odor. Scum may also be seen on the surface. Fish life is absent, but anaerobic bacteria at the upper and aerobic bacteria at the lower can be observed. This leads the re-aeration of with risen DO concentration to the 40%. Then zone of recovery. In this zone, the process of recovery starts from its degraded condition to the former condition. The stabilization of organic matter takes place and BOD of water is reduced. DO content rises to above 40%. The bacterial load decreases as the food supply of bacteria diminishes. As there will be no organic matter, so bacterial load will get decreases because there is no food, no organic matter which is used as a food by the bacteria. So bacteria obviously will get killed and will die. So bacterial load is low. Near the end of zone, microscopic aquatic life reappears. And the last zone is zone of clear water. In the natural condition of the stream, in this zone, the natural condition of the stream is restored, which result with the result of water becomes clear and attractive in appearance. Rises of saturation level and much higher than the BOD and oxygen balance is attained and recovery is said to be complete in this zone. So in this zone, in the clear water zone, the recovery or the stream become purified and it's get recovered. Then next is a oxygen sac curve. During entire process of purification and in the various zone, there will be as we know, for the organic decomposition, oxygen is consumed by the microscopic bacteria and the microorganism, and because of that thing, at certain point there will be a oxygen deficiency will get created. At certain point, the entire oxygen or dissolved oxygen level in the stream will get zero, as which is happening in the zone of complete decomposition or the active decomposition. So at that point, the oxygen deficiency will get created, and that will be studied under this topic, that is oxygen sac curve. If you see this figure carefully, we can see that the blue line, which is called as a cumulative oxygen addition, and second red line shows the cumulative oxygen depletion, whereas the black continuous line shows the dissolved oxygen level. By seeing this figure, we can say that the dissolved oxygen initially it is high, which is denoted by DO, and gradually it decreases, and then again it attains its original concentration or the strength. Oxygen sac or oxygen deficit in the stream at any point of the time during the self purification process is the difference between the saturation DO content and the actual DO content at that time. So we can write the oxygen deficit is equal to saturation DO minus actual DO. Normal saturation DO value for fresh water is depend upon the temperature, and it is usually 14.62 mg per liter at 0 degree centigrade and 7.63 mg per liter at 30 degree centigrade respectively. When wastewater is discharged into the stream of or fresh water, the content of stream goes on depleting. This depletion of oxygen is known as deoxygenation. The rate of deoxygenation depends upon the volume of organic matter remain, time available for decomposition, and temperature of the stream. So the deoxygenation or the rate of deoxygenation is mainly depend upon the three factor, that is volume of organic matter, time available, and the temperature. As we know, if the organic matter is more, then more oxygen is required and oxygen level get decreased. Then time available, how much time is required for the decomposition. If suppose the time required for the decomposition is more, then there will be more depletion in the oxygen level. And if the dilution or the current is there, definitely the fresh water will get added and the more oxygen will be available for the decomposition. And the temperature, obviously at lower temperature the microbial activities are slow, we must say, and at higher temperature the oxygen the microbial activities are rapid, or we can say higher. So because of all these factors also matters, and at higher temperature more decomposition will takes place, and which result in the further depletion of the oxygen level. The depletion of the DO content of the stream with the time is depicted by the deoxygenation curve shown by the curve 2 in absence of aeration. The ordinates below the curve indicate, if we refer the previous figure, by referring that figure, the ordinates below the curve indicate the oxygen remaining in the natural stream after satisfying the BOD. Though the DO content of the stream is gradually consumed due to the BOD load, atmosphere supplies the oxygen continuously to the water through the process of reoxygenation. Along with the oxygenation, reoxygenation also continuously takes place. At the rate of oxygenation, reoxygenation is depend upon depth of the water in the stream, velocity of the flow in the stream, oxygen deficient, below saturation DO, and the temperature of the water. If the depth is more, then definitely it will take more time to dissolve the oxygen into the stream. At the surface level, the oxygen concentration is more, and if you go below that, below the level or at the greater depth, the oxygen concentration will be lower and the anaerobic condition prevails. If the velocity is more, definitely because of the velocity, because of the current and all, there will be more absorption of the oxygen in the stream, whereas if the velocity is low, the oxygen start depleting. This rate of deoxygenation is expressed by the Streeter-Phelps equation as follow, where dt is equal to k L0 divided by R minus K, in bracket 10 raised to minus KT minus 10 raised to minus RT, bracket close, plus DO 10 raised to minus RT, where K is BOD reaction constant to the base 10, R is the reoxygenation constant to the base 10, DO is the initial oxygen deficit at the point of waste discharge at the time, and T is equal to 0. It is the classic Streeter-Phelps oxygen sag equation, which is most commonly used in the river analysis. So in this particular video, we have discussed about the stream sanitation, zones of purification, cell purification of the stream, and the oxygen sag curve, where we have studied the rate of deoxygenation or the reoxygenation by the Streeter-Phelps equation. So this equation will help you for the river analysis. So thank you. Happy learning.